Hi everyone, it's Mariah, and I thought I'd bring you along whilst I turn this little sketch of a cinnamon scroll cat into a sticker design using Procreate on my iPad. I started off by taking a photo of the sketch and putting that on to Procreate, and then I lowered the opacity so I could sketch over it on another layer. I initially did this sketch probably about 2 years ago when I first got my iPad and finally decided it was time to turn it into a sticker. The final design was not well planned out, and I really struggled to draw the cinnamon scroll to start with, and realised I was trying to draw it too flat and that I needed to give it more dimension. I was struggling to make the cinnamon scroll look alright with the whole composition of the cat being a part of it, so eventually I did just draw a cinnamon scroll on its own, and then using that I added the cat to it. The dimensions for the canvas on Procreate were 20 by 20 centimeters with a DPI of 500, and the color profile was CMYK because I knew I wanted to make this either as stickers, pins, keychains, or something like that, so I knew it was going to be printed. I did quite a few sketch layers, as you can see, until I was happy with the general kind of design and I was ready to start colouring and adding some proper lines to it, but I did also play around quite a bit with the size of the head of the cat in ratio to the cinnamon scroll, but overall at the end I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Finding that balance between a cartoon illustrative kind of cat and drawing a cat more realistically is really hard for me, and I never really know where to start or what I want it to look like, so I did this to figure out what I want it to look like. For the line work, I just used standard brushes that are available on Procreate, but I have edited them slightly, so I mostly used the script brush and also the monoline brush. I have just, I think, upped the smoothing on them just so when I do draw lines they're pulled a lot smoother. As you can see, my lines flicker a lot on the screen, which means I'm just redrawing them a lot because I am definitely not a one-pass girly. I think I would be more so if I had more of a plan, or if my line work and sketch was a bit better and I knew exactly where I wanted those lines. I did also try and play around a little bit with line weight. It does change throughout the process of making this, but that is something that I really do want to improve in my artwork because I feel like I can add so much dimension and character to a drawing. For the colouring, I used the same script and monoline brushes because this is primarily block shading, but I also did use the soft airbrush a few times to add some highlights. I'm not 100% sure if I should call it icing or syrup, but I'm going to call it icing. Originally, I only planned to put the icing on the top of the cat's head, but I then also decided to add it to the ears, and I think that's really cute and I'm really happy that I did that. The icing goes through a whole lot of transformations during this drawing, and I probably could have planned it out better, but I'm happy with how it turned out. I did choose to go for a kind of pinkish colour for the icing because white was just too stark, and then it also allowed me room to add highlights as well. I don't think that I've ever posted a Procreate time-lapse, so I'm not exactly sure how to do this or how interesting it really is, so please let me know what you think. I've seen some other people actually film themselves drawing on their iPad, but normally I draw on my iPad curled up on the couch, so I can't really set up a camera to film myself. You see a lot of flickering during this process because I do move between layers quite a lot, and I also use alpha lock and clipping masks a lot during this process. After giving the icing some dimension, it just seemed weird to have it stop at the line work, so I decided to make the icing go over the line work, and I think this just made the drawing look so much better. That said though, now I had a layer of the icing that was under the line work and also a layer of the icing that was over the line work, so it made colouring and blending and adding any gradients a whole nother task because I had to keep going back between the layers and I couldn't easily merge them. Like a lot of other people, I always draw on a canvas that has a coloured background when using Procreate because the white is just too stark and bright. It also actually kind of hurts my eyes, so that's why the background here is grey. When I do finish it, I remove the background completely and make it a transparent PNG. You'd have seen earlier that the line work was originally a lot darker, and I actually asked some people their opinions, and a lot of people did vote for me to keep it darker, but I really liked how the lighter line work made the drawing just feel a little bit more cozy. And also once it was taken off the grey background, readable as well. There was another drawing that went along with the cinnamon scroll cat because this one here was inspired by one of my cats who curls up and I call her a little cinnamon scroll, and one of my other cats just lays really flat and I call her a ciabatta, like a loaf of ciabatta, and I tried to draw that but it just didn't really work out, so I think this one here is going to be a standalone. I've ordered this design as keychains, which is super exciting. So when they arrive, they will be listed on my Etsy, and I'm also going to turn this design into stickers as well. I change the background to black just to make sure there's no wayward strokes, and then I export it as a PNG, and then I airdrop that to my Mac. This next part can be drawn in on Procreate, but I prefer using Photoshop to do it, so that's how I do it. But the keychain design is finished, and now it's time to go into Photoshop. I create a 20 by 20 centimeter canvas and make sure that the color mode is on CMYK. This one's also at, I think, 600 DPI. And then just like on Procreate, I change the background color. This just makes me be able to obviously see where I'm making the white outline for the sticker, but then it also again allows me to make sure that there aren't any wayward strokes or anything that I've missed. I drop the PNG in and then zoom in to make sure the quality is looking right, and it is looking great. I'm not sure about the little glitch in the screen recording here, but I just moved the drawing over to center it a bit better. And I also rotated it because even though it will look the same when a sticker is made, I just thought it needed to be tilted slightly. Next, on a Mac, I hold down Command and I click on the little display icon on the Layers tab, and that selects the pixels on that layer. Next, I click Select, Modify, Expand, and I initially expanded by 40 pixels, and that expands the selection that you have. That's why I like doing it on Photoshop, because it creates a perfect even line around the image that you've created. So I did it a second time, and this is what it looks like now. Next, what I do is I go in Select, Modify, Smooth, and here I smooth by 50 pixels, and that smooths out the line. So here I show you an example where I undo the smoothing, and you'll see the edges go all hard like this. And then once you do the smoothing, it smooths it all out, which means when you go to make your stickers, I use a Cricut, it smooths it all out for you, and it's a nice, easy cut. If you are getting your stickers manufactured, you don't need to do any of this, and you could have stopped when you'd finished your design. Next, I create a new layer and I put that under the artwork and I fill that in white. Sometimes I'm not sure why the edges go a little blurry and not so opaque over the selection, and sometimes I'll just go in with an eraser and fix that up and kind of smooth out those edges. But this time, you can see I give it a go. This time I didn't really like it, so instead I just reselected it and I smoothed it out even further, and I decided I like that better, and then I just did the same thing where I used the paint bucket tool to fill that layer in, or that selection in, with white. And once this is all done, then I just remove the background layer and save it as a PNG, and then I can make stickers out of it. I can show you how I line everything up on a sticker sheet to cut for Cricut, but I think I also have that in an old video, so I'll link that now if I have that all listed in that video. If you like this video, please do give it a like, and feel free to subscribe if you want. All my social medias are down below. This is a bit of a different style for me. I haven't really done a whole heap of filming or time-lapses with my digital kind of art that I make on my iPad using Procreate, because it's just kind of awkward, I think, or I don't really know how to make it super interesting, because you can't see the pen or any of the strokes. It just appears on the screen. So if you like these type of videos, let me know. I have so many drawings that I could export time-lapses for from Procreate, but generally I think I prefer to film the, I guess, traditional artwork that I do. Anyway, as I said, this is now available, or it will be available as keychains in the next couple of weeks. So if you're interested, head over to my Etsy, which is linked in my bio, and if you want to get this as a sticker, that will be listed in my bio now, so you can head over there and have a look if you're interested. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a lovely day.